All right, welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus show. I'm Onebar with Lupagus, and we got realistic Randy in the freaking house. Vikings land might not be the happiest of lands right now, but we're gonna talk this baby out. We're gonna talk this baby out. Realistic Randy, been watching you forever. Love the fact that you're on the show, and can't wait to hear your thoughts on the Minnesota Vikings.
I think it's unfortunate that we are collabing at this point in time in Vikings fandom. We scheduled this, a week ago or so?
In happier times.
And that's when things were looking great. And quite honestly, 2009, 2017 was a sugar rush. That was just a quick in and out happiness. This was the first time that I had a true stretch of pure joy with this team in, I don't know, 15 years maybe, where the vibes were high. Everything's looking up Vikings. I feel so good. And now we're at the point where it's just, I have zero expectations now. I had all the expectations minus a Super Bowl. Like whatever happens this year, it's going to be the start of a new era in Vikings history, to where now when I say I have literally zero expectations, I mean, I'm at the point now where the first goal you have to meet if you're the Vikings is have 53 players on your roster week one against the Giants. That's where I'm at right now. I have no expectations. Anything that you get from this point that constitutes as something, I consider that a bonus.
Well, that's why we got you on the show, man. You do keep it real. I mean, the links will be down in the description, but the best part about you is you just let it fly. You don't sugarcoat anything. It's fantastic. But before we get into it, I gotta ask, at what point when you became a Vikings fan, like I'm in the Anthony Carter early 90s range. Lupagus is more like the 98 range. Like, where did you become a Vikings fan? Who was the star of the Vikings when you became a fan?
Randy Moss.
He
was a superhero. 2000 for me.
2000. All right.
In junior high school, we all had this clique of Vikings fans because of this guy. We would play backyard football, just throw it up. We wanted to be him no matter what. He was the guy. And then when it got to the point that Moss got traded to Oakland, it was a really tough decision for me because I was going to become a Raiders fan just because of this guy and just follow Randy Moss the rest of his career. But at that point, I already became so familiar with guys like Jermaine Wiggins, Michael Bennett, Chris Hovan, Brian Russell, the safety. There were so many players that I became familiar with that I said, okay, I'll stick around. So Randy Moss was the start of it, and I've been hanging around ever since.
Well, hey, we're glad you stuck around. I think Michael Bennett a Raider at some point?
He was on every team at some point. Yes, if you do those grids, Michael Bennett will fit.
I think he might. All right,
He was a Raider. He was
all right. He was a Raider. You made the right choice.
He was way ahead of his time too. His style would fit in today's league. I swear.
Burner. The dude was a burner.
So, God.
All right. So the Vikings curse everybody. Twitter, they're cursed. How bad is this curse? Do you feel that they are cursed? And what do we have to do to break this curse? Tell us. We will do anything.
Right now.
I don't want to be that guy anymore. That's why I'm so disappointed right now, because I was so genuinely happy that negative Randy, that guy's in the past. Like I'm done with it. We are in a good spot right now, and now I have to be the guy to just call it like I see it. How do we break the curse? Dude, I don't know.
Give us some naked jumping jacks.
We've done all the stuff where it's, don't jinx the team by saying they're going to win the Super Bowl or they're going to beat this team in week 10 or whatever. We've done all of that stuff, the superstitious stuff to protect the sanctity of the Vikings legacy. And guess what? They still shit the bed every single time. And this time it's not even the Vikings' fault. Mm-hmm. It's just dudes are falling left and right. And I saw it where Jordan Addison got hurt today, got carted off. And I think I saw a follow-up where KOC is not concerned. He thinks it's something minor. No. I'm not doing that. I'm not falling for that anymore.
It's fair.
Because until I see him actually, because he's not going to practice tomorrow, until I see him out there on the field again, then I'll believe it. I have zero expectations. So honestly, for me, when I see something like that, I'm just assuming he's not going to return the rest of the year. It's extreme, but that's the only way that I can protect my sanity at this point. I don't know what to do to break the curse. Everybody's been trying to do it for 50, 60 years. No one can figure it out. Different head coaches, different quarterbacks, different GMs. It doesn't matter.
Different kickers.
I'd be surprised if we ever saw Jordan Addison play again at this point. So I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah. I mean, Jalen Naylor, I'm expecting him to be the wide receiver too. Let's rock and roll. And then we don't have TJ Hawkinson. Robert Tonyan, is he back in practicing? I heard he had back spasms. Maybe he's not out there. Josh Oliver and Johnny Munt, yippee. Jordan Addison, he's not going to return. Your rookie quarterback is out. You lost your what would have been your CB3 in Mekhi Blackman. So you can't hurt me anymore, man. I'm just going to make fun of the whole thing like I did in, what was that? I think that was Zim's last year, 2021, where I just said, to hell with all the analysis videos. I'm not going to do that this year, but I'd focus strictly on the skits where I have to laugh at this because otherwise I'm going to lose my mind. So that's where I'm at right now.
All right. Well, you're also at having Sam Darnold as your starting quarterback, like it or not. Are you on the Sam Darnold train at all? Can you get aboard that thing, choo-choo, and ride it?
I was already there, to be honest, but then the rise of J.J. McCarthy made me look sideways at Sam a bit, where I said, oh, now I want to see this guy play. But I'm going to keep that same energy I said before, where, well, if Jordan Addison's not going to be there, that's going to be something else. But if the team is healthy, Sam Darnold has a chance to bounce back and really make a name for himself to justify being a former third pick overall with this team. That I do truly believe that if everything goes right, which clearly nothing has gone right so far, that this team can win 11 games with Sam Darnold as QB1. Oh. It's very possible, but that's the optimistic me 48 hours ago.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of in the same boat, like with Sam Darnold. Nobody knows what to expect, but also I'm kind of expecting like him to surprise a lot of people and get some dubs. So looking at this whole team as a whole, aside from injuries, I mean, Addison, I'm just going to assume that he's going to be out for a while, but what position gives you the most heartburn when you look at this? A position that when you're watching week in and week out, you're just going to be like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? These guys suck ass.
I think it's a tie between interior defensive line and the cornerbacks. Cornerback is rough. And I do hate the fact that they were unable to sign Stephon Gilmore. I do believe that Kwesi tried everything that he could. But at this point, I just have this gut feeling that Gilmore is trying to round robin the league and try to get the best offer. But if you push Levi Drake Rodriguez up into the starting role just because no one's really standing out there, I would feel a little bit better about it to where, okay, at least that part of the defense has improved. Corner, you don't sign Stephon Gilmore. I don't know what the hell you do. I mean, Byron Murphy was supposed to be the safe bet, and we saw him on Saturday, and I understand it's preseason, but I mean, my God, dude, it reminded me, as much as we give a Caleb Evans flack for being, I guess, wishy-washy, Byron Murphy is really the same guy. Not as bad as a Caleb Evans, but you really don't know what you're going to get game in, game out from this guy. The value that he has up to this point right now is he's versatile enough to play outside and inside. But is he a shutdown corner, the Xavier Rhodes type in 2017? Nah, it's just corner scares me, I would say, the most, because interior defensive line, you got LDR as a chance to plug that in. Corner with Mekhi Blackman gone, no Stephon Gilmore, you're left with Bupkis.
I was not expecting you to drop that word here tonight. All right. So JJ McCarthy's out. We're all excited to watch him. We got 2 preseason games and a whole season to go. Who are you investing in now? What young player are you excited to watch maybe on Saturday moving forward? I kind of have an idea where you may go with this just based on your last answer, but who are you excited to watch now?
LDR is one of them.
Yeah.
But also Bo Richter, man.
Yes, Bo Richter.
There's an aura about this guy where I don't know if it's because he's white with the arm brace around his arm and he just yells at dudes after he gives big hits.
Okay.
But he has that JJ Watt type of aura around him where I'm like, I want to see more of this guy. And quite honestly, maybe I'm going to sound a little bit insane here, but I don't know. You remember, I think it was 2019. It was 2019. The playoffs, they played the Saints and then they beat them, then played the Niners, lost to them. But in those games, Zim dialed up some special packages where he had Ev and Hunter play inside. I'm at the point where with the interior D line,
yes,
you don't really have, you might have one true D tackle, and that's Harrison Phillips, who's playing out of position. But with the lack of depth there, I wouldn't even mind if you, with how heavy we are at pass rusher, I wouldn't even mind you putting in 2 depth guys at edge rusher inside from time to time, including Bo Richter.
Hell yeah.
God. Randy's our new defensive coordinator. Him and Brian Flores drawing up schemes. I love it. Bo Richter, yeah. How can you not love that dude? And you're right. You nailed it. It's the elbow brace. It
looks
just
like Brian
like
Robeson out there.
He looks like he looks like Brian Robeson. I can't wait to see what he does in game 2 of the preseason. You mentioned Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell. What's your thoughts on these? Like right now, let's say the Vikings just absolutely win 5 games this year and they fire both of them. Like, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but what are your thoughts on these guys right now for the future? Is this the Vikings' future?
I don't think there should be any questions about their job security until after 2025. 2024, this is just a whole big ass mess. This is awful. No regime can overcome the catastrophes of this roster that they have faced. And I understand that the Wolf brothers, and I talked about this recently, how they honestly, with how long the Zim regime went and Kirk Cousins, and they were so patient with those 2 guys, Rick Spielman included, that perhaps they are jaded right now to where they are saying, all right, we want results and we want it fast. I don't think their jobs should be in question right now. Get everybody back next year, 2025, do the best you can. And let's say they do shit the bed. Let's say they do only get 3 wins this year. Okay, well, you have your first round pick. It's going to be high in that situation. I know you don't have much else after that as far as the draft, but you can always trade down from that spot. Do something like the Bears did when they traded down with Carolina and acquired all those assets, DJ Moore included, and a first round pick and then some for Bryce Young to go to Carolina. And then guess what? JJ McCarthy comes into a better situation next year than he even did this year before he got hurt. So if we're going to have that conversation, I think it's appropriate to do that after 2025.
Love it. Boom.
All right, Randy, again, thank you for being here. You are one of the true OGs of YouTube. Some people call me and Onebar that, but you were here, one of the first ones here, so it's really great having you on the show finally. One more question, though. In your mind, what's more likely to happen? Vikings get the first overall pick or they make the playoffs?
Oh, it's actually a pretty
first overall pick.
Wow.
Yeah. I thought
you must have read the practice notes from the Bears today, or from the Browns game. Practice.
Well, I saw that as well, but it's just everybody's falling apart. I'm assuming wide receiver 2 is not going to be there until I actually see him there. You lost your CB3. You're going to struggle covering receivers. Your CB1 looked like ass on Saturday. My goodness, but I just don't know if I can take it anymore. Who knows if TJ Hawkinson, obviously he's going to come back at some point, but when is that going to be? When they're already 1-7 in that situation? Like I said, had 53 players show up week 1 to face the Giants, and that's the first goal met. Bam. Okay, I'm starting to buy in again. But honestly, the way things are going right now, I can't. The whole positivity thing, I've tried it. I did it. This team has beaten the spirit out of me to where I'm just saying, hey, I can't do that anymore. Because every time I get my hopes up, and you guys know this, we all know this as Vikings fans. Every single time that we sit here and say, hey, we figured it out, something dumb always follows up right on cue. So it's one of you sit back like 2017, Sam Bradford goes down, 0 expectations. In comes Case Keenum. You make it to the NFC Championship game. Wow, didn't see that coming. I think that's the best approach to take for me. Although, if everything works out, they can also get 11 games or 11 wins. So I guess in a way I'm hedging right now, but I'm sitting back. Can't hurt me anymore. Maybe make it to the playoffs. We'll see.
Reverse psychology. He's going with the first overall pick. We're going to win 12 games. I love everything about it.
Yep.
Love everything about it, baby. Randy, hey, Realistic Randy, links down in the description. You guys have probably already watched him, already seen him, probably already subbed, but if you haven't, hit it up down in the description. Realistic, hey, we appreciate it, man. This is beautiful. Man. We hope to have you on again during the season. We appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, this was dope, guys. Thanks for having me on. Certainly we'll do it some more throughout this season. Got to get through it together, man.
We do. We need each other.
Yep. Each other and alcohol.
That's right.